we would all love a little more brain power, and especially if that brain power didn't come with sacrificing brain health. So what can we eat naturally that will improve both brain health and brain power? Will improve brain health and overall cognition, including things like memory, focus, attention, learning, etc., etc. Well, first off, before we mention these foods, which is about 10 or 11 foods, I believe, that I have on my list as the top foods here, they all have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties, right? So reducing inflammation in the brain bodes well for not only cell signaling, but for protecting the cell and improving brain function overall. Antioxidants, they protect the cells. They also help to produce BDNF. And when you think BDNF, that's something that is associated with brain cell production, maintenance, and survival, right? So you think BDNF, think more brain cells, think really good. Remember, aerobic exercise is one of the best natural ways to boost BDNF. Also, extended periods of intermittent fasting, being less stressed, and getting more sleep. But this video is about the nutritional components of these foods that will help to improve brain function and overall health. So they all have anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties. They boost BDNF. They all lower your risk for neurodegenerative diseases. So what are they? Well, number one on my list, really number 1 and 2 are kind of tied, was blueberries, for sure. Blueberries are the number 1 food that exists. Wild blueberries, organic blueberries especially. It takes about a pint every day to get this effect, by the way, or 3/4 of a pint. That improves memory and focus, right? So they're number 1 in the world for memory and focus are blueberries. Better than anything else out there. So definitely eat a lot of blueberries. I think they're delicious as well. Other dark berries are great as well. Now, they all have anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties, increase BDNF. Blueberries improve blood flow to the brain as well. That's another way that they can improve cognition, and significant improvement in memory have been noted with them as well. So we got blueberries at the top of my list. Other dark berries, make sure they're rich in color. Dark berries, blackberries, raspberries, goji berries, acai berries, all that kind of stuff. It's great for cognition, right? But blueberries definitely take the cake for number 1. Number 2 is fatty fish. So fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, trout, things of that nature, sardines, right? These all are rich in omega-3s, namely salmon, and you're going to get wild-caught salmon. It has a better ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, meaning less omega-6s and more of those good omega-3s, right? Comparatively. Actually, farm-raised has more total, I believe, of both, but high omega-6 is associated with chronic disease and increased inflammation, so we don't want that, right? So fatty fish, that's up on our list, and really why? Well, when you look at fat, well, there's 2 major things here that control neurotransmission, or the transmission of signals from one nerve cell to another. And that would be the fluidity of the nerve cell membrane. We want to keep it nice and fluid, and these healthy fats, the DHA and EPA, they help to do that, right? So they're components of the cell membranes in themselves, okay? The other one is increasing the release of neurotransmitters, and omega-3s, EPA and DHA, they do both. So they're absolutely fantastic. Again, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties, as all of them have, boost BDNF, really great stuff. They even increase gray cell matter volume. They increase the volume of your hippocampus. So what's the hippocampus involved in? I'm holding this to the windows and blow it over. Hippocampus is the center for learning and memory, baby. So we'll take boosting that and helping that grow. So yeah, they make you smarter. They make you happier. They're really great. Fatty fish, okay? So we got blueberries. We got fatty fish. I'll keep reiterating as we go for those of you who are just coming on and, you missed anything. And so it really drives it home what you guys should be eating for your brain. Blueberries, fatty fish, and one of the next ones on my list, the rest aren't really, I should say, in order, but curcumin, which you find in turmeric. Now, turmeric has I think it's 3 to 4% curcumin, so you're better off with a supplement in this regard. You need so much turmeric to get the amount of curcumin to benefit your cognitive function and reduce the inflammation, have antioxidant properties, and increase BDNF, blah, 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 right? So 95% curcuminoids, you're looking for at least a gram in a day, right? 500 milligrams 3 times a day, typical recommended dosage of that, all right? And that's also something that can help to, by reducing inflammation, reducing joint pain and joint stiffness in people with osteoarthritis, right? For example, it's been shown to do. So, as well, omega-3s, right? So, we have blueberries, we have fatty fish, baby, we got curcumin, we have pasture-raised eggs. Pasture-raised eggs. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, probably not, but a lot of you might be thinking, the yolk has a lot of these healthy fats, right? Well, true. It does have healthy fats, but really a negligible amount of omega-3s, EPA and DHA. It's like 25 milligrams, and you're talking on the matter of thousands of milligrams. So that's not really the hallmark trait, a hallmark way by which these eggs, pasture-raised eggs, right, because they are much richer in vitamins and minerals, 3 times the amount of vitamin D, 2 times the amount of omega-3s, 4 times the amount of vitamin E, 7 times the amount of beta-carotene, antioxidant you find in eggs, than traditional eggs that, are fed, are from hens that are fed grain, right? The cheap shit. So pay a little extra and get the pasture raised. It's attributed to the fact that they are rich in choline and the B vitamins, and all the fat-soluble vitamins really as well, A, D, E, and K. Right, now the B vitamins are all cofactors in energy metabolism. So if your brain is going to use things and break it down for energy, well, you need these B vitamins to help it do so, right? That's one. Fat-soluble vitamins, they all cross the blood-brain barrier. It's lipophilic, right? So anything with fat will really get through there well. And they're involved in brain function. We'll talk about that more in a second. But choline, this is the only thing on here that's, really known as much for choline. You find it in seafood and meat too. But it's a precursor to acetylcholine, and that's the learning neurotransmitter. So it facilitates learning and memory and focus and attention, and even motivation and arousal, and improves mood, right? Used pretty much ubiquitously throughout the body for so many different types of purposes is acetylcholine as a signaling chemical. And so we have eggs on the list. So we have fatty fish, we have blueberries, we have curcumin, we have eggs. Next up is coffee and tea. So both are rich in antioxidants and caffeine. Caffeine, actually exerts a protective effect on the brain too. We always think of the mechanism of, blocking adenosine receptors, or it binds adenosine receptors, not letting adenosine bind them, by, which would otherwise make us tired. So if caffeine binds to them, we don't get tired, right? And we pretty much have a lot of energy. It also inhibits an enzyme phosphodiesterase, which reverts cyclic AMP back to AMP. Whatever all this means, right? What's important is cyclic AMP is associated with wakefulness, right? And so if we can block the thing that breaks that down, we're keeping that. If we block the adenosine from binding, that makes us tired. We get wakefulness from that. You're alert, you're awake, you're great. You feel good, right? Caffeine supports brain health in general, actually to the degree where 3 to 4 cups of coffee in a day actually lowers somebody's risk for neurodegenerative diseases more than having, say, 1 or 2 cups statistically. So, pretty interesting. Actually, more is better, up to a point, right? Like with anything, copious amounts aren't desirable. It would be silly for anything. So, FDA, what do they say? 400 milligrams or less is pretty much safe, right? Or less than 400. But if you don't have a heart condition, you probably don't have to worry about that as much. So coffee is next on our list. And then we have tea. We have, namely green tea. And green tea, it's rich in antioxidant. It has the caffeine, but it has something unique. And that's L-theanine, which is an amino acid that is very rare in nature. You find it really only in green tea and a mushroom species, Bladus, and some other mushroom species, but it's very rare. Our bodies don't make it. And so it's something that increases GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, and that's an inhibitory neurotransmitter. What does all this mean? It's something that relaxes your brain, right? It also increases serotonin and dopamine, making you feel pleasure and happiness and reward, things of that, and motivation and things of that nature, right? So, great for cognition. They're really full of antioxidants. Our teas, green tea is really up there at the top, I would say, due to its epigallocatechin gallate concentration, right? So, if you're curious as to how it maintains higher levels of things like dopamine and epinephrine, norepinephrine, it inhibits an enzyme called catechol O-methyltransferase, which breaks down catecholamines. So that's how it does that. So we have, most importantly, blueberries, fatty fish, eggs, curcumin. We got caffeine from coffee and green tea. I would say probably next on my list is, we in order, would probably be leafy greens, and broccoli. But we're going to say nuts and seeds here, because this is something I think a lot of people actually enjoy the way they taste, and they're easy to consume. So we talk about nuts and seeds. Yeah, they have really high antioxidant content. Things like vitamin E, namely, and you also get a lot of nutrition in seeds. We talk about the fiber with chia seeds. They have some good protein. They're full of vitamins and minerals. Just caught that from flying over. And I need a heavier thing to hold this down, right? So I'm going to order a tripod one of these days. Man of functionality, just get it done, But, you look at something like pumpkin seeds. You think of flax seeds and chia seeds and hemp seeds, and they're all fantastic. But pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, magnesium, copper, iron, and these are all also antioxidants. If you guys don't know, you guys are like, everything's an antioxidant. Well, you know what? Honestly, most of these good foods that come from nature, especially if they're rich in color, typically are potent in some way. They typically have a lot of antioxidants, and antioxidants are good for like everything. So, just think of it like that. That's why one of my hallmark rules is get things that come from nature, right? And the color actually can tell you a lot. We did a video on that on Wind Wellness. Granted, it's not poisonous. Anyway, so we have nuts and seeds are also up there on the list. A lot of you might be thinking, well, what about the ALA? He didn't even mention that. That's an omega-3 that you find in nuts and seeds. Really inefficient process for the body to convert ALA over to EPA and DHA. Those are the omega-3s that we really care about. So you're better off getting them from fatty fish or algae, right? You can, but you're not going to produce that much EPA and DHA from the omega-3s, the ALA that you get from, say, seeds. So that wouldn't be my hallmark trait and reason that they improve cognition, right, and brain health. So we have the fiber aspect is good too because it feeds your gut bacteria, which controls brain function, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Blueberries. We got fatty fish. We have eggs. We have curcumin. We have nuts, seeds, coffee, tea, and probably next on my list here would be broccoli. So broccoli, we all know, has sulforaphane, and that's a very powerful antioxidant, right? It has some fiber, which is great for feeding the gut, but it also is very rich in vitamin K, as are other leafy greens. And what's the deal with vitamin K? Well, we know vitamin K for blood clotting if it's K1, and K2 for calcium absorption, right, into bones. But it's also something that helps to form what are called sphingolipids, and sphingolipids are very densely packed into brain cells. They contain a ton of them, right? Just like the omega-3s. So having a lot of vitamin K can bode well for the healthy fats that are contained, at least, producing more of them and having more of them in your brain cells, right? So we love vitamin K. Leafy greens are super high in vitamin K as well, spinach and kale and all kind of stuff like that. You think vitamin K, you think greens, but also meat. Meat is rich in K2, menaquinone, and that's involved in calcium absorption and things of that nature, right? So we have all this stuff, which we'll say again at the end. We only got 2 left, so I'm not going to go back through the list right now. But we have oranges. Oranges are rich in vitamin C, antioxidant, So anything really that has vitamin C is good. And our last one, interestingly, is dark chocolate. So dark chocolate is something that is rich in antioxidants. It boosts BDNF, but very interestingly, it increases gut microbial diversity. So that is something that bodes well for the health of our gut microbiome. And this is where we're going to finish here is, why is that important? Well, look at the gut-brain axis. Look at the action of the vagus nerve. You could look all this stuff up and look how what you feed your gut, its relation of the enteric nervous system to your central nervous system and peripheral nervous, it's all connected. And when you feed your gut good things, when you have the bacteria, so the probiotics, right, and greater diversity, a lot of different types of bacteria, right, and you feed them with things like soluble fiber and polyphenols, which are antioxidants, by the way, that are also in like all these foods, right? Blueberries especially are super high in them. Taro still being, and anthocyanins, things of that nature. These are things that are involved, other polyphenols, in the process of breaking down that fiber and then producing other things, right, by the gut bacteria. So these gut bacteria, they eat the fiber. They need these polyphenols to do it. So the antioxidants help them to eat that stuff, and they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate and acetate and caproic acid and valeric acid, or whatever the names don't matter. Typically butyrate and acetate are spoken of. They control your mood, metabolism, and we're talking about brain function here, right? So mood is really a big one when it comes to brain function. 90% of the serotonin in your body is produced in the gut, right? Believe it or not. So, also fat storage and appetite and immune function. It's like beating a dead horse at Wind Wellness. We always talk about this, right? Muscle protein synthesis, right? So much, right, in the body. So that you wouldn't think your gut is controlling, right? And that's why we say if you have a problem, you don't know what it is, look to the gut. But now we know a lot of these good foods. So let's kind of go back through them really quick. So we have, number 1 is what? Blueberries, right? And other dark berries are great too. We got fatty fish. We have curcumin. We have pasture-raised eggs. Remember, curcumin is the only one here we recommended purely as a supplement. With the omega-3s, you would want to get that through the fatty fish. I love salmon. I think it's great. It's really high in them, right? Wild-caught salmon, all right? So on top of our blueberries, our fatty fish, we're going to drill it into you. Curcumin, eggs, pasture-raised eggs, caffeine, so coffee, and L-theanine. We had nuts and seeds. We had broccoli, and other leafy greens. We had oranges, and we had dark chocolate. Those are my 11 top foods for improving brain health and overall brain function. So I hope you guys eat some of them today. I'm definitely going to. We got a couple of birthdays up in here today, and we got PJ Abilene. Happy birthday, man. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You are my brother for life. I really mean that. And I hope you have a great day. And Stephanie Lauren, I haven't seen you in forever. We used to play as kids. Happy birthday, though. I hope you're having a great day, too. So let's sing to the people. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear PJ and Stephanie. Happy birthday to you, and many, many more. Happy birthday, you guys. I hope it's an awesome, awesome year for you. You do something great for yourselves. Who do we got on here? I appreciate that. Moonbo, you know what? Not really. It's a waste of time being angry. I would just do something about it if I was angry instead of sitting there and being angry. That's how I feel. Dave, what's up, brother? Hell yeah, that's good. If you're going to have the dark chocolate, make sure it's at least 75% pure cacao. 75, 80%. You know, really the higher the better. If you're looking for the pure nutritional benefit, you could just get cocoa polyphenols. Those are the best for heart health, too. Along with garlic and nitrates you find in leafy greens. Right? Nitrates become nitrites, become nitric oxide, vasodilator, opens the blood vessels, improves blood flow, delivery of oxygen and nutrients to all your tissues. So those are speaking on heart health. Omega-3s are obviously great too. But if you're going to have it through chocolate, you can have pure cacao nibs too. They're like 99% or almost pure cacao, I believe. They taste like shit though. They're really bitter. So if you like the dark chocolate, you're going to get a bar. Just get at least, you know, I would say 80% personally, but other accounts say 75, things like that. What's up, Ken? Mitch, how you doing? Fast Fit, Adrian, Moonbo, Rabbit, Marcus. He's an OG subscriber up in here. I'm happy to see him, always. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're having an awesome day. Deb by Gaga, Brandon Malone, Brad, Salt Life, Kumo James. What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? I miss you, dog. I hope you're having a great day, brother. Antonio, Derek Jones, what's up? OG's up in here. A.O. Housen, Soulflower, Richie Carter, Jonathan Lindsay, Constantine, Dan Robbie, Bull City King. Dave, you were the first one, man. I appreciate the support, brother. I was at the gym today, and I did, what the hell did I do? Chest. I did chest. I did some flat bench with the bar. I did some incline with the bar. I did some flies with the cables, top down. And then I did some, pulse for the chest on the dip bar, if you're curious. As for now. So we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an awesome rest of your Monday. Happy Memorial Day. This one, of course, is also for everybody that has passed in our military and anyone who knows anyone that has fought for this country and died for us, so that we can do this today. We can enjoy what we do. I can make a video like this, and I don't have to worry about someone rolling up on me and bombing us or anything like that. We really don't often appreciate these people in our everyday lives, right? Because we just go about what we do every day. But today is a day where we definitely recognize that, and we should recognize what they've done for us more often, I think. So, Carlos, what's up, brother? How you doing? Happy Memorial Day, young stud. I hope you're having a great day. As for now, guys, we'll see you later. We already did our see you tomorrow, folks. Have an awesome one. Thanks. Carlos, we talked about all the top foods for brain health and function. It was pretty cool. You want me to spit them really quick to you? It was blueberries and other dark berries. It was fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, sardines, trout, anchovies. It was eggs, pasture-raised eggs. It was curcumin. It was caffeine, so coffee and green tea. It was nuts and seeds, right? It was broccoli. It was oranges. It was dark chocolate. So there you go. Now you got it all. See ya.